Science as a subject deals with the world around us. If you think about it, physics is all about how light travels, the physical part, that is how the light travels, how much is the weight or a mass of a substance, and biology deals with the um, living living organisms, animals, plants, and so on. Chemistry, on the other hand, deals with the the composition of a particular substance. So in the beginning, there were just these three branches: chemistry, physics, and biology. And then over time, these branches started combining. So you have biochemistry, you have biophysics, physical chemistry. So all these branches are intertwined. Okay, so chemistry as a subject is the branch of science which deals with the study of composition, properties, and structure of matter and the changes which the matter undergoes under different conditions and the laws which govern these changes. So, chemistry deals with what is inside a particular substance. It does not, I mean, it does not, it also deals with like how these substances interact with each other. Okay, and there are various laws which govern all of these chemical reactions, and that is what you are going to be studying in some basic concepts of chemistry. So this chapter is the first chapter of your class 11 textbook for the NCERT syllabus or the CBSE syllabus, and I am going to be starting with the first topic, that is the introduction or the basic idea as to what chemistry is. So under scope of chemistry, you will realize that everything around us is made up of two basic things called as atoms and molecules. So when we talk about atoms and molecules, when you learnt in your grade 10, you would have learnt about the periodic table, right? So those are the individual elements of the periodic table. So these elements can exist either as atoms or as molecules. When they exist as atoms, it means that they can exist independently. So the best example for such things could be helium, neon. So these elements generally exist as atoms, and molecules, on the other hand, are basically substances which have more than one element in them. Okay, you learn in detail about what are the different types of molecules that exist as you move on from this topic to the next. Okay, so I'm going to put simple examples as H2O2 or H2O. This is a water molecule. The hydrogen molecule, oxygen molecule. So the study of chemistry deals with how these atoms exist, what do these contain, what do molecules have and what do these contain, and how all of these interact with each other. Okay, and also the first the reason all of this started in the first place was because we as humans were very curious about our environment. So then okay, they realized that there could be two things called the Philosopher's Stone, not the Harry Potter one. I mean, sort of the Harry Potter one because they tend to have the same properties, but the Philosopher's Stone over here has the ability to change um, the substances into gold apparently, and the elixir of life, which is supposed to make sure that a person stays alive or rather becomes immortal. So that's how it started, and various cultures have had various things taking place due to which you have the chemistry that you do right now. So Europe in the 16th and the 17th century, it was very essential because in Europe you had a lot of scientists studying and understanding, and they're very curious to understand what our surroundings contained of. So over time, we've come to this simple understanding, and there were various theories put forward by scientists, which you will be learning at a later point in this chapter. So, scope of chemistry, basically, you need to understand chemistry, study of atoms and molecules, or also it is also the study of the chemical reactions that take place. So, of course, chemistry has a lot of applications. If you look around, you would realize there's so much of chemistry that you are surrounded by and you do not even pay extra attention to it. Okay, so first is meeting of basic needs and necessities of our life. So agriculture. When we talk about agriculture, you have pesticides, fertilizers, insecticides, all of these over time, due to these, it has made sure that the plants or crops, the yield gets better, and they've ensured that the pests don't affect the plants and crops, or they don't infect them. Food preservation has always been one of the major issues when it comes to preservation, but due to chemistry, you've had a lot of chemicals which are being used. Of course, all these chemicals have to be approved first, and only then it can be, taken in the first place. So preservation is one important, again, an important thing. Next is sanitization. Imagine COVID in a situation where you do not know about the existence of sanitizers or soap, for that matter. It would wreak havoc. I mean, our ancestors have had major epidemics like plague, the bubonic plague, cholera. All of these they didn't realize because of poor sanitization. So imagine a world right now where there was not proper sanitization and you had to deal with the pandemic. Quite difficult, right? So another very important application of chemistry would be sanitization. The last is medicine. Medicinal chemistry is one of the most versatile groups, I would say, because medicine as such requires not only a chemist, requires a pharmacy student or a person who studied pharmacy basically. So they there's an intermingling of so many branches of science and medicine. When it comes to chemistry, medicines has made sure that you have um, anesthetics. Imagine, I mean, going for a tooth removal to the doctor, and if there was no anesthetic, you would obviously feel the pain. So there was a time in the past when there was no anesthesia available. There was also a time where you did not have a lot of medicines that we use as easy. I mean, if you have a headache, we tend to take a paracetamol when it's pretty severe, right? So those are analgesics, and when you talk about fever, you have antipyretics, okay, and you have antibiotics, antimicrobials, antimalarials. All of these have made sure that when and if we have an illness or an ailment, we are able to take something and relieve the pain right now. Okay, also it has given a lot of life-saving drugs. For example, cisplatin and Taxol have been used for cancer therapy. Previously, cancer used to be a disease where once somebody was affected by it, like there was no turning back. But now, due to so much of innovation in this field, you have medicines that can perhaps make things better. The next one is for comfort, pleasure, and luxuries. So it now the building materials that are present are constantly changing, right? We don't use the kind of building material our ancestors did. So over time there has been a change. So they're adding semi-synthetic materials and new things which are available, which makes it better. And there are various soaps, detergents, metals, alloys. All of these have improved in the use and the ease with which we can do certain things. Okay. Another important luxury could be air conditioning, right? So previously you did not have air conditioning in every house. Now it's not in all houses, but most of the houses we have air conditioning, and we're using better coolants to make sure that the environment doesn't get spoiled. Like you have the star system, so this ensures that the amount of electricity that gets used up is also reduced. The next one is it gives us new materials. Now you have optical fibers and microalloys, conducting polymers, etc. Next is chemistry in war. This is a little unfortunate, but chemistry has been used in war. It has been used for the formation of TNT, trinitrotoluene. For the ones who are interested in the Roadrunner show, that's the TNT thing which he presses down, and you see a bomb blast taking place. So that's one. Then you have dynamite, poisonous gases like mustard gas, many of these vapors, and atom bomb, one of the most unfortunate things which was created, due to which there was a lot of destruction in the World War, unfortunately. So that gives us the major applications of chemistry. The last is goals and challenges. One of the major challenges that we have with respect to chemistry is the fact there are various gases like methane and carbon dioxide which are leading to global warming, and this is a very big challenge, and we need to figure out as a community as to how to figure out how to reduce the amount of carbon dioxide, methane. Not only that, when with respect to chemistry, I would like to say, over time we've realized the amount of solvent that we are using in labs, it's so high that it's leading to extra pollution, due to which there is a separate branch of chemistry called as the green chemistry. So the goal of green chemistry is to see as to how to make sure the reactions that do take place are done at better conditions, do not lead to a lot of toxicity, and do not cause a lot of harm to our environment. Our environment is very, very important. It is our duty to take care of it, and the one of the main important thing which had happened in the 70s and the 80s was the chlorofluorocarbons. The refrigerators then had chlorofluorocarbons in them, which in turn led to the depletion of the ozone layer. Of course, after scientists realized that it was because of chlorofluorocarbons that there was a chain reaction happening elsewhere, immediately there was a change in the kind of coolant that was used, and because of that, the over time it has taken so long for the Earth to try and rebuild the ozone layer. So there has been an improvement in terms of how big the hole is. So this shows that it's, our duty to try and save the planet, I guess. So that's all for this video. So the next video we will be talking about the nature of matter, which is the second topic in this chapter. I hope you like this, and feel free to reach out if you have any queries.